What's up, everybody? Belligerent here with another Bloodline video. Before we jump into it, let me throw three quick things at you. Upper left-hand corner of your screen right now, you should see our Discord invite code. This code is also down in the description, the full link, so you can just click the link, come on over. We have a blast. We are theory crafting. We are testing ideas. We are debating ideas. We're talking about team comps. Come on over, check it out, be part of our community. Bottom left-hand corner is the server of the guild that I run, part of a multi-server guild on this game. We filled up on one server, so we expanded to other servers. 295 is the server I kind of oversee, but I am part of all of the guilds that we have going on. But come on up to 295, come hang out with us, be part of the crew. We're getting filled up fast, so make sure you come on over. And now the bottom right-hand corner of the screen, you see the referral link. Take this code, go to your community tabs, which are the little chat bubbles on the left-hand side of your hometown screen. You click in there, there'll be a spot for you to put this code so you can get some rewards. You have to be prior to stage 320 in order to put this code in. You get some rewards, including 100 diamonds once you pass stage 320. So use that. And now let's jump into the video. All right, guys, let's get into this. I wanted to make a video based on a conversation that I have with people a lot. And I got some more similar responses from the tier list that I just put out. And it's a conversation that I've had many times. So I think it's something that we should address. So either y'all can prove me wrong, or I can help you understand where I'm coming from. And that is the female Lumi usage or not usage. And why I feel about her the way I feel about her, and why I think a lot of people are wrong about using her to trigger ults. To do that, let's jump into here and take a look at some stats and remember these numbers, and we're going to talk about them more in just a little bit. Okay, so when we're looking at female Lumi, okay, her ultimate. Now remember, this is max level, but we're going to talk everything max level just so it all makes sense and we're all talking about the same thing, right? Now, your levels may vary, but we're going to talk max level. It's the easiest way for us to all be on the same page, okay? So at max level, when she uses her ultimate to make another champion trigger their ultimate a second time, that teammate's strength will be increased by 327.5%, okay? Let's remember that number. The other thing people bring up is her passive, okay? And the key part about this is for each buff on a teammate, damage dealt is increased by 9%. Let's remember that number. All right, now let's jump out of here. I'll look at a couple of other things, okay? Let's take a look at female Lionstone, okay? We're going to take a look at her ultimate. And there's two things that are key here to this conversation, all right? Increases all teammates' strength. We're going to ignore attack speed because it's not working right now. It increases all teammates' strength by 393%, okay? 393%, remember that number. And it lasts for 5 seconds, okay? So that's another key number. All right, so what are we remembering? Female Lumi ultimate. 327.5%. Female Lumi passive, 9% per buff. Female Lionstone ultimate, 393% for 5 seconds. All right. Now that we have those, we can start having the conversation. Okay, so here we go. Let's take a look at this sequence of events. Now, I have overlaid the clock for this so you can see the timing, but right here Ignis triggers her ultimate at 1:51. Now female Lumi triggers her ultimate and recharges female Ignis, who now triggers her ultimate at 1:45. So that was a 6-second time lapse. So let's think about that. That's a 6-second time lapse between Ignis ult, female Lumi recharging female Ignis, and then female Ignis doing her ult again. Female Lionstone ultimate only lasts for 5 seconds. The transition from Ignis to Lumi to Ignis takes 6 seconds. Even if it took 5 seconds, that still means the second attack is not going to be empowered by female Lionstone. And I think that's the key element a lot of people are missing in this argument. So let's do some math. Let's break it down. Okay. So first, let's just use this comp. Now, ignore the rarities, ignore the levels. That's irrelevant. I'm just giving you a visual to help you understand what comp we're talking about. Remember, I said in the beginning, we're going to be using all of the maxed out stats that we talked about from the codex. Okay. So in this composition, we have female Lionstone, male Aeson, Yiv, which is kind of irrelevant to the equation, and then we have 2 AoE nuke mages, which is what I say is better for you to run over the Lumi repeating an AoE mage. Okay? So for the sake of helping people easily understand the math, we're just going to use a simple number. Okay, I'm just going to use 1,000 as the damage each of these mages puts out. All y'all know that that's not what their damage actually is, but this makes it really easy for you to see and understand. At least I hope. So if we take 1,000 damage and then we multiply that by the 393% from female Lionstone plus the 30% from male Aeson, that means each mage is going to put out 4,230 damage. Multiply that by 2, that is a total of 8,460 damage, both happening basically simultaneously because both mages can ult individually of each other. They're not waiting for a refresh from Lumi. So you're doing 8,460 damage with these 2 AoE mages on the board. Okay, so let's change it up. Let's substitute female Lumi in for one of the mages. So now we have female Lionstone, male Aeson, which also count as 2 buffs for Lumi's passive. Okay, and then we have the female Ignis, and then we have female Lumi. Now let's recall her numbers. Her ultimate is 327.5% to female Ignis when she recharges her ult, plus 9% for each buff, which in this case we get 1 buff from Lionstone, 1 buff from male Aeson. Okay, so for 18%, we'll just call it 9%, however you want to put it. Okay, so let's look at what this is going to do. So the first run, female Ignis doing 1,000 damage, empowered by female Lionstone, empowered by male Aeson, so 393% plus 30% plus 9% for the first buff from female Lumi, plus another 9% from the second buff from female Lumi. That means this first attack from female Ignis is going to be 4,410 damage, which is higher than she did without female Lumi being on the board. Obviously, she's getting that extra 9 plus 9%. But now let's look at it on the second time when she doesn't have the female Lionstone ultimate because it ran out, because we are now outside of the 5 seconds that female Lionstone buffs. So now we are looking at female Ignis, 1,000 damage, times the 327.5% from Lumi, plus the 30% from Aeson, plus the 9% from the Lumi buff, okay, which is going to put us at 3,665 damage on the second ultimate. So significantly less. And before anybody says anything, I did not leave out a Lumi buff. The female Lionstone buff is not active right now, so that she also loses out on the 9% from female Lumi's passive. She's only getting 1 because there's only 1 buff active right now. So only 1 9% buff, not 2. So that puts her at 3,665 for this second output. Add those together, you come up with 8,075 damage output, which is less than 2 AoE nuke mages just both being buffed by Aeson and Lionstone. And it also took you an additional 6 seconds for it to trigger with your comp. So again, I leave it to you. You can tell me where I'm wrong. Show me how I'm wrong. Because if I'm wrong, I have no ego. If I'm wrong, I want to be wrong and I want to know that I'm wrong. Show me how I'm wrong. And I'm happy to admit it. And I'll even put out a video giving you props for showing me that I'm wrong. But if I'm wrong, show me where I'm wrong. Otherwise, as I have said in the past, using female Lumi to repeat an AoE mage's ultimate is not good. And it's not the right use for female Lumi. So make sure you leave me those comments down below. Like, subscribe, tell a friend. I'm Belligerent. Peace.
Hold up. Wait a minute. Something ain't right.
All right, here's a new one for you. We're calling it Belligerence Overtime. First time I've ever done this in a video. Gone back because after I put this video out, I still had some questions that popped up in my head, and I felt that it was only right to come back, tack it on to the end of this video to address them, just so we can try and put this debate to bed, so to speak, although I don't know if it puts it to bed. So, a couple of questions. The first question was, well, the Lumi combination fell short because of the amount of buffs, and I think our representation was a valid representation of a comp that you're going to run. But is there a way to get there? And I tried to think, and maybe some of you can hit me up in the comments. Maybe I'm just forgetting a champion right now. The only other champion I thought of that does buffs would be the male Zace, who buffs the backline. It's 20% at max. So if you added that on, plus an additional 9%, because there's another buff from the Lumi, you still fall short, but you're there in the ballpark. I think it was about 8350-ish. I don't have the exact number in front of me, but I did do the math. It was still slightly short of the 8460 that we reached with the double mage combination. The other thing that I'm curious about, I can't get into, I can't speak on because I don't know the answer, but I started wondering, do traits count as buffs? Not like brutal and stuff, but does hulking, does sanguine, does lionheart, does aggressive, do those count as buffs? Will those trigger the Lumi passive? That's possible. I find it unlikely. Like, I tend to think of buffs as actual abilities, but who knows? That's something that requires further testing. I can't speak against or for that argument. Finally, I did come up with a scenario where the Lumi plus a single mage will do more damage. And that scenario is if both the Lumi and Lionstone buffs are active in a single ult. So let me summarize that. Let me go back through that again so you understand. This is what would need to happen, and this is also why for me it's kind of a no-go, but you could put out more damage this way than having 2 AoE mages, the way that we showed it in this video. And that is if female Lionstone ults, and then female Lumi ults the mage, and then the mage ults. And then when you add that on to a second mage ult that wouldn't be empowered by any of them except for the 39% from male Aeson and the female Lumi passive, then you would reach, I think it was 9,075. So you would edge out that 8460 that we came up with the 2 mages. So I wanted to add those to the end of this. I thought it was important. There were good questions that I had for myself after this video that I think some of you might have had as well. If you have any more, please hit me up. Like, I don't do this to be right. I do this to be correct. I'm Belligerent. I appreciate y'all. Peace.